So EMPULSE has been out for a couple days as I'm recording this video, and the feedback has been mixed, to say the least. I didn't want to make a first impressions video being like, whoa, this gameplay is insane, just, playing 2 matches and talking over it. I didn't want to make that video, because everyone's going to be making that. So this is going to be a bit different, because now it's been out for a few days. We've had the opportunity to collect feedback, to collect general opinions outside of a bubble of a playtest. It's mixed. Some people are going to be like, oh, it's all negative, but it's mixed is the right word, I think. Mixed in the middle, because I've seen people who love it, love every bit of it. Not many, but people, I'm sure. That's not really kind of the ideal outcome. A few people love it, right? That's kind of the position that Splitgate falls into. It's niche. It's loved by the few. People feel betrayed by the abandoning of Splitgate, and it's like, yes, it's tough, and they are abandoning Splitgate. People saying if they put more effort into Splitgate, it will be successful. That's just pure cope. It's never happening. Splitgate, as for 4 reasons I mentioned in my first video about EMPULSE, Splitgate is never, ever going to be big, and they just happened to realize earlier this year that, yes, it's never going to happen. Might as well quit while we're behind, work on something new, something that can actually be successful. Right, Splitgate is done. It's over. And I know it's painful, but I think for the developers, it's the right move. Even if, for the very small people who love Splitgate, who supported it from the beginning, it's easy to feel betrayed. But Splitgate, you can cope all you like and say it was just a bit more work, a bit more money, a bit more time. It can be popular. No, it can't. They've tried it. This is the 3rd time now, and it's not been successful, right? It had a bit of a bump with Splitgate 2. Where's that now? Gone. They've given up. It's the right move. Splitgate Arena Reloaded is a great game. It ended with Splitgate Arena Reloaded, right? It's done. Maybe if EMPULSE does really well, they'll take a loss on it because they love it so much and keep working on it. But, if you feel betrayed, that's fine. EMPULSE is okay. EMPULSE is not nearly as bad as I think people are saying it is. I'm having fun with it. It's frustrating at times, but you just sort of need to get used to it, because I've sort of always struggled with tracking. I like to sort of clench my mouse, and that makes aiming really rigid and tracking really difficult, especially in when I'm moving it around as fast as I am. I'm struggling with the game, but I'm logging on every day. I'm having fun playing like an hour or so. Mostly because I'm in a gaming depression. I genuinely, even though I'm at my PC all day, I just have days where I don't play games at all. I'm depressed. It's just the truth. I need to find something to do with my life, and I have a job and I'm not doing it, and it's really fucking bad. And it's like, ugh. But anyway, enough about my problems. EMPULSE has its own problems. There's a lot of very valid stuff that I 100% unequivocally agree with, and something a bunch of movement heads have been saying is the movement is too easy. In Titanfall, you'll build up your momentum with a long distance grappling hook when you spawn, which is on a long cooldown, or building it up over time with sliding, because you need to build up momentum. You can't just hit it instantly. Through various methods like sliding, but in EMPULSE you get a speed paint, you're moving, right? And that's basically as fast as you will be moving. It's very constant, it's very easy, and there's not much rewarding skill, and that is honestly a very valid complaint. And honestly, one thing they could do, I think, would be beneficial is removing speed paint. I think that would be really good. Get rid of speed paint, and maybe that'll feel like there'll be a void with ways to get to speed, because speed paint is just everywhere, all over the maps. Everywhere is running it. And that makes it really easy to get to speed. I genuinely just don't think buffing other paints is going to help. I think the method they might go for is nerfing speed paint and buffing the other paints, and I don't think that's not going to work out. Just remove speed paint, it's problematic. Once you remove something that just makes it so easy to be fast, instantly, at no penalty, maybe you can start to add other ways of getting speed that is more skillful, more deliberate, and more varied, other than just go fast, One idea I had, just like a few minutes ago as I was thinking about making this video, was people have suggested mixing paint, right? And how do you actually implement that? I think you add just 3 types of paint, because if you want to have mixing paint with like the 5 different paints we have now, for every 1 paint you have to make 4 unique combinations, right? And it's insane. So 3 paints: jump paint, sticky paint, and you have jump paint or speed paint, which if we're removing speed paint, you'd have jump paint as the default moving paint. You'd have jump paint, you'd have sticky paint, and you'd have explosive paint. Jump paint and sticky paint, what would that make? I don't know, but you could do some really cool stuff with this. Honestly, maybe just keep the 5 and add a ton of different mixing variations for gameplay. I think mixing paint is actually a really good idea. Because at the moment, basically they just combine speed paint mixer with jump paint. If you go over both, you just get a jump boost and a speed boost at the same time, and that's it. I think mixing paint is actually a really good idea. I think the best way to make that work is just having 3 paints or a small fixed amount of paint. And that would add a ton of gameplay variety on its own. Not only is it combinations, but it's not just you equip it and this is what you have, right? Instead of just having one type of paint that you throw and it does a thing and it just combines with the others like boringly, if you see other paints on the map, then suddenly your one paint that you have has 3 different kinds of paint in one without having to switch what kind of paint you're running. I think mixing paint is a really cool idea, and if you want to get it to work in this game, I think removing the number of paints you have, merging them into mixing paint is a really cool idea. I think mixing paint is a great idea, and that is honestly how you fix the paint system. Some stupid person on Reddit said, like, the paint system will kill the game more quickly than Portals. Like, what the hell? Do you understand anything? That's just... I think I'm getting rage baited, but I think someone is stupid enough to say something like that. Portals are unique to Splitgate, aren't a transferable skill like movement, have a very low skill floor, and are such a big part of the game that they're a requirement to learn to be good. That is the problem with Portals, not that they are just too hard. With the argument like the movement is too easy, and people are thinking that's a deliberate choice because Portals were so hard that they alienated many of the playbase, and that's why EMPULSE's movement is so easy. Not more difficult, but more skillful. Movement systems will actually benefit the game to the Portals, because Portals are hyper-specific and non-transferable. They're hyper-specific to Splitgate, they are completely unique to Splitgate outside of Portal, but in Portal it's a completely different context. They're very difficult to learn, and they're also a requirement to learn in order to play well at all, even in a medium setting. You just need to know Portals in order to play well. And that alienates the playbase, because suddenly you need to learn this thing that's not intuitive. With movement, that's completely different. You have movement games. Apex, Titanfall, all these games with movement systems, and even if this one is a bit more fast, a bit more crazy, those skills are transferable from other games, because in other first-person games, you do move a lot, right? And even in this one, maybe you move a bit faster, but you still move. It's not like Portals, which are completely unique to Splitgate in a multiplayer FPS setting. Movement is transferable, and for that reason, I think it is okay to make it a skill you need to learn. What else? Titans. And this kind of gets into the point of not better, not worse, just different. Titans are different in Impulse to Titanfall. That's why they call them mechs, and why, going forward, I think the community should call them mechs, not Titans, because they're not Titans. When you call them Titans, you just think Titanfall, right? And you think, oh, this is going to be identical to Titanfall. It's not identical to Titanfall. This game is, in a one-sentence description, it's them trying to make the pilot gameplay of Titanfall the main focus while also having Titans at the same time. It's taken that 50-50 that I described in one of my previous videos about Titanfall. I think it was the one where I played the playtest. Taking that 50-50 and making it like a 10-90, right? 90% pilot gameplay, 10% Titan gameplay. And instead of them being separate, how can the mech gameplay elevate the pilot gameplay? And that is just them being a presence on the map, being a gameplay break if you do choose to get in them, and having to fundamentally change how you interact and move around the map while they are there, right? That is what mechs do. Subtly or not, in objective-based modes, your positioning, what you do is going to be more important than, casual slop that we have right now, where no one plays the objective. Thanks, guys. Titans' presence on the map fundamentally change how you think about them. And that's why they're good. People say they need to buffs. People saying they need nerfs. People like, I only care about the pilot gameplay. I care not for mechs. Why are they there? I think they're fine. I think they need a buff and they need more variety. I don't think they add nothing to the game. I think they add a lot more than people think. It just changes how you think on like a micro and a macro level in terms of the grand scheme of things. You have to play differently on the map, whereas if it's all pilots anyway, you don't really have to think, because in every single engagement you're going to be on an even footing. So they don't need to be like Titanfall. The design intention is for them to be like power weapons, and that is very specific. Although in games like even Splitgate, you have multiple power weapons, right? Not just one, the same one every single time on every single map. The game is going to release with a mech v mech mode. It's going to be so boring. Can you imagine? No one's going to play that crap. They need Titan variants. This is one piece of feedback that everyone is saying and one I wholeheartedly agree with. Even as I said in my last video, 3 mech variants I think would be enough, because you're not playing in the mechs that much, and I think just a little bit of choice, not even customization, right? Not even choosing what weapons you like or like stuff like that. Just 3 choices of different mechs you can use, depending on the situation, depending on the map, depending on what you like. I think that will be enough, even just for early access. Maybe once the game's out, they can add to that even more, but 3 mech variants. One of them you already got, keep that one, it's fine. It's a bit boring, but whatever. Add 2 more. That's it. That's all you need to do. Honestly, I think that's good enough for this game. It's not Titanfall. It's not 50-50 mech pilot gameplay. Just more variety would be nice, and I think that's enough. Honestly, that's enough for the mech system. It doesn't really need anything more than that. Could they be buffed a bit more? Yes. I think they add to the gameplay in a positive way, and I think they could add to the gameplay in a positive way even more if they had more variety. Just 3 variants. Just 3 variants. Make them look different as well. Hammer is a big problem. I don't like the hammer. I use hammer a lot because it's strong, it's fun, it's easy to bait pull. You know, you run around a corner, you wait. Wha-bang! Karate chop in the face. Big hammer. It's a bit weird of a choice to have the hammer as like your only secondary. I think secondaries are absolutely one thing they could add during early access. Why would you have sledgehammers as your only like secondary option? Like it for me it doesn't make sense really. Sledgehammers in all games aren't solitary items or big parts of the gameplay. They are options in a roster, and I think the people asking for Titan weapons could get their fix here. I think if you position secondaries in Impulse as anti-mech weapons, the anti-Titan weapons of Impulse, I think that would be really good. You have a grenade launcher, you have sort of like a laser beam type weapon. So why did you like remove the momentum damage thing from Splitgate? I thought that was going to be like a given in this game. For those of you who don't know, in Splitgate, I don't know if there's a thing in Halo, it might be, but in Splitgate, even in Splitgate 1, in all versions of Splitgate, the faster you're moving, the more damage you do with your melee punch, to the point where if you're going fast enough, you can one-hit kill someone who is at full health with a melee punch. I think that's really fun. I thought it was going to be a no-brainer going into this, but it's not here. And honestly, I think that's because people got one-shot a lot. It makes sense why it's not here. I just thought it was weird. The art style, I think, has really grown on me ever since they released that lore video. And the new map. The new map looks stunning is a strong word. I'm not going to use it here because it's not, right? But it's still the same art style. But, you know, I've come to understand the art style. And honestly, to the point where now I want to make a video analyzing it because I don't think people get it. It's futuristic, utopian, high-fashion streetwear. That's how I would describe it. You've got these glitzy, shiny buildings that are like pure white with really cool colors, and it's all sunny all the time. And you know, you take a look at the skins, you can actually, in-game, you can look at the skins that will be in the release event for the game. I'll put that up on screen right now, hopefully, if I remember. The style is very clearly streetwear. I've locked it down. It actually is something, and the lore is actually pretty cool, although they definitely need to incorporate that more into the game. 100% that needs to happen. Just copy the finals, guys. Just like it's an easy win. You've got 2 factions already. Since you're playing as Lancers, who are technically freelancers. Oh, that's where they got the name from. Oh, I don't like their name Lancers. It's a bit generic, but freelancers, yeah, sure. I guess maybe you'd come to that conclusion, although you wouldn't intuitively. I just came onto it on accident because I was actually talking about the art style. The lore is actually decent, which is surprising because Splitgate, I knew nothing about the lore. There were these brands, they meant nothing to me. They'd made no efforts to like establish lore in Splitgate, but here they're actually, it looks like they're trying. They've got an animated trailer with sort of a character, or even if it is an AI. I've got a character, and it doesn't make sense because they say the AI was completely eradicated, and then the AI made the lockdown. Like, that doesn't make much sense. Like, what's the story there? It doesn't, like, I guess. This was a take I didn't really agree with. I thought it's just the game getting killed in the back 90% of the time. You know, having like multiple enemies on screen at all times. But after playing this new map, the Refinery, I think it's called, is easily the best map they've ever, like, in the whole game. Not only does it look the best, it's actually got some nice lighting, and in like at different locations you've got an outdoor bit and an actual indoor bit that looks visually distinct. It's actually a lot bigger than the other maps, and I think that lends to the gameplay a lot better. I think these maps they currently have just been maps they've been experimenting on and just decided to decorate because they are a bit under detailed. But yeah, I think this map is 100% a win. It's great. Best map in the game, not even close. More big maps, please. More maps with pretty lighting, set at night, even though I'm sick of all the blue in the game. People are saying the game needs to be gritty and militaristic. This is just Titanfall fans wanting... Dude, they just want Titanfall. They're going to ask for Titanfall. They're never going to be happy. Don't satiate those players. I think go for a more stylized direction like what was in the trailer. One cool thing that I noticed after watching the lore trailer is like the skyline is actually very recognizable on the shipyard map. If you look like across, like out into the ocean, you can see the city in the distance, and that's awesome. That is sick, right? I love that. That's a really nice touch that no one's going to notice. But I noticed it, and good job, guys. Oh, God. This video is meant to be short, but it's going on. The art style, I'm coming onto it, but it does need some work. Go in a more stylized direction. Ignore the Titanfall players saying it needs to be gritty, it needs to be really... Make it stylized. I think that's how you stand out. You've got two factions, which is like, what? They're loyal to the AI? They're loyal to the AI, really? Make it part of the in-game experience. Don't just add cool references to it in like a single gameplay or a single story trailer. Make it part of the game. Not necessarily part of the gameplay, just part of the game. And that's a big win. Make the game more stylized, I think, because you're kind of going for the realism thing again, and I think it looks meh. It's very clearly a game that wants to be stylized. I think it would be great if it was stylized. Go stylized, please. People aren't going to like it, but I will. I can't say people aren't going to like it. It's going to be an improvement, I'll say that. Sort of there's this association with stylized games and live service slop now, which I hate. Like, there was that one game by Quantic Dream. I can't even remember the name, it was so generic. But that had a stylized art style. You know, you look at it and I'm like, God, that's going to be so live service. And this new Horizon game, you know, monster hunting type game is stylized as well. You know, there's a lot of bad rap about stylization, but... I don't know. That's kind of what you're going for. I think if you want to flesh out the current art style you've got, the sort of free runner, city, urban art style, if you want to live out what you've currently got to the fullest, I think you have to go stylized. Honestly, you can just add a few post-process effects on top of what you've got. Add some nice bloom. Tone down on the blue, please. It's too much blue. Because I think that's already what you're going for. You just need that push to start going true stylized. Invest in some toon shaders. I love a good toon shader. You got to pick the right kind of stylization, and I think it is the way to go. Don't be scared of depth, guys. I know all the feedback from Portals and Splitgate made you scared to have games with depth, but movement is not Portals. Paint mixing is a good idea. Titans need variety, even just the bare minimum of 3 mech variants I think is enough. You've already got one. Honestly, that's all. I think that's all the game needs. It needs stylization, more mech variants, more skillful movement, and change the paint a bit, and secondaries. That's it. Early access, guys. You've got a year and a bit probably, that's how long it's going to last. That's what you guys should be focusing on. Thinking about it now, removing speed paint I think would be a massive benefit to the game. It would slow people down, it would make the game less frantic. I think it would be a net positive, because at the moment it's a must pick, and I think you guys are going to see the 99% pick rate in the stats when the game releases, and the game, you know, the game's been out for a month, and you're going to try and nerf speed paint and buff the other paints. It's never going to work. Just remove speed paints. It'll add more depth to the movement. Those are my 5 things. I'm trying not to go on a tangent right now because it's 3:30 in the morning. I have to get to. I'm trying to actually do my job because I'm oversharing. I have issues. Okay, 5 things. Stylized graphics. Go more stylized. I think that's how you realize the art style. Mech variation. Mechs are boring. How the hell is a mech-free mech mode going to be fun? 3 mech variants, including the one you already have, I think is the bare minimum, and I think it's enough. Make movement more skillful, and I think this starts by removing speed paint. It's never going to work, it's never going to be balanced, but always going to run it, and I think when you remove it, you open up more avenues for people to reach high speeds. It will both make paint more varied, because there's more options instead of just the easy good one. I forgot my points. I think paint mixing, I think this is a good idea. If you remove speed paint, maybe you can remove another one, add it as part of paint mixing. This will add more variety to the paint system because you don't just have one choice that's constant and all around. Based on other factors on the map, not only will there be more variety because, you know, speed paint's gone there, people will be choosing more, but the choices you make, depending on where other paints are in the environment, mean you have actually, with one single paint in your inventory, options for multiple different paints. I think that's really cool. It like casually adds a million times more depth to the paint system and actually can be called paint. It's not just a texture on a wall. Last but not least, secondaries. The sledgehammer is a good start, I think. It's a good start for a bunch of quirky, wacky different secondaries. And people have been asking for mech weapons, anti-mech weapons. Secondaries can be the anti-mech weapons, starting with the sledgehammer. Make them quirky different secondaries, and I think that'll just be a net positive. Outside of that, I can't think of much. The loadout system, add more weapons, make the loadout system a bit more interesting, but I'm quite surprised because it's the same loadout system as before, but the perks are actually a lot more interesting than they are in Splitgate 2, which already makes it a net positive, although I think this is something that can also be worked on, but it's not one of my 5 points. Those are my 5 points. That's how you improve EMPULSE, in my opinion. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you liked it, leave a dislike if you disliked it. Subscribe if you're new, and tap out. Peace. See you.